Hi everybody, it's Crystal. Welcome to my channel. So today I'm going to be showing you how to make this granny square here. Now it is pink and it has the pink ribbon on it for breast cancer awareness because of the making of this video. It is October the 4th of 2023 and October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. So it's actually really pretty and very, very simple to do. Now this square measures 7 by 7 approximately. You can make a whole bunch of these, different colors. It doesn't just have to be pink for breast cancer awareness. It can be any color for whatever, whatever you support. But do you guys want to go ahead and get started on it? All right, you got this. It's really easy. It's easy to do. All right, for the yarn that I'm using is a Big Twist Value from Joann's. It's a 100% acrylic yarn. It probably takes about, I don't know, not much, I don't know, 75, 80 yards maybe to make a square. I'm just guessing. It could be less, but that's a guess. It is a medium weight number 4, and the color that I have here is called a medium rose. And then we're going to be using a size H, which is a 5mm crochet hook. All right, so you want to go ahead and start off with a chain of 25 chains. And once you get your chain of 25, we are going to do a single crochet in the second stitch from the hook. So we don't count the one that's on our hook. 1, 2, that second stitch. And we single crochet, and then we're going to put 1 single crochet in every stitch for the length of the chain. So row 1, 1 single crochet in every stitch until we get to the end of our row. Alright, so I made it to the end of row 1, and you should have a total of 24 stitches. 24 stitches is the magic number. That's what you're going to have at the end of every row from here on out. So let's go ahead and start row 2. We're going to chain 1 and turn our work. That chain 1 does not count as a stitch here or for the rest of the pattern. So we're going to go back into this very first stitch and single crochet. We actually want to put a single crochet into the first 6 stitches. So this very first one we count as 1, the next one 2, the next one's 3, 4, 5, and 6. So we got 6 single crochets in a row. Now we're going to do a double crochet 4 together bobble into the next stitch. So this is how we do that. We're going to yarn over and go into the next stitch, draw up a loop, and yarn over and go through the first 2 loops on our hook. We want to do that 4 times total. That would be number 1. Again, yarn over, go into the same stitch, draw up a loop, yarn over and go through the first 2 loops on our hook. So that's 2 times. Yarn over, go into the same stitch, draw up a loop, yarn over and go through the first 2 loops on our hook. That's 3 times. One more time. Yarn over, go into the same stitch, draw up a loop, yarn over and go through the first 2 loops. We should have 5 loops that remain. Yarn over and go through all 5 loops. Give it a tug. And now what we're going to do is do a single crochet into the next 10 stitches. So we just go directly into the next one. And we need to do 10 in a row. So there's 1, 2, 3, So there was 10 single crochets in a row. Don't worry if your square starts to spiral. It'll look better when we're finished. All right, now the next stitch we are going to put a bobble in it again, a double crochet 4 together bobble. So we're going to do the same thing that we did here, right here. So we're going to yarn over, go into the next stitch, draw up a loop, yarn over and go through the first 2. We need to do that 4 times. That would be number 1 again. Yarn over, same stitch, draw up a loop, yarn over and go through the first 2. So that was 2 times. Yarn over, same stitch, draw up a loop, yarn over and go through the first 2. That's 3 times. One more time. Yarn over, go into the same stitch, draw up a loop, yarn over and go through the first 2. You should have 5 loops that remain. Yarn over and go through all 5. Give it a tug and you should have 6 stitches that remain. We're going to go ahead and single crochet into the remaining 6 stitches. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So again, we'll have a total of 24 stitches counting those 2 bobbles. So we started with 6 and we ended with 6 and we have our 2 bobbles. So this is actually the back side of our work. So we're going to go ahead and start row 3. We're going to chain 1 and turn our work. And this is the front side. So what we're going to do now for row 3 is we're going to go back into the very first stitch and single crochet. And we're just going to work 1 single crochet in every single stitch all the way across until we get to the end of our row. Make sure you get this stitch right next to the bobble and make sure the bobble counts as a stitch as well. So make sure you go right on top of the bobble and single crochet into it. And I'm just going to work across, putting 1 single crochet in every stitch until I make it to the end of row 3. All right, I've made it to the end, and 24 stitches still is what we will have. So we'll go ahead and start row 4. We're going to chain 1 and turn, and we're on the back side of our work. So this is where we work our bobbles. And now we're going to put a single crochet into the first 7 stitches. So there's 7 single crochets in a row. And now we are going to work a bobble into the next stitch. The same way we worked them before. To double crochet 4 together, bobble. Five loops remain. Go through all 5, give it a tug, and now we're going to do a single crochet into the next 8 stitches. There's 8, and now we're going to do a bobble into the next stitch right here. The double crochet 4 together, bobble. Five loops remain. Yarn over, go through all 5, give it a tug, and you should have 7 stitches left. To go ahead and single crochet into the remaining 7 stitches of the row. just like that, and that'll end row 4, just like that. 24 stitches still. Let's go ahead and start row 5, chain 1, and turn our work. Every time we work on the front side, it's always going to be the same. It's going to be 1 single crochet in every stitch across, including 1 on top of the bobble. So just remember, the back side of our work is where we work our bobbles, and the front side is always just a row of single crochet. And just make sure you get that 1 single crochet on top of the bobble. So I'm going to continue working 1 single crochet in every stitch and on top of the bobble until I make it to the end of our row. All right, I've made it to the end of row 5. So why don't we go ahead and start row 6. We are going to chain 1 and turn our work. Now we're going to put 1 single crochet into the first 8 stitches. And then we're going to do a bobble into the next stitch, just like we did the other bobbles. Now we're going to do 1 single crochet into the next 6 stitches. It's 5 and 6. Now we're going to do a bobble into the next stitch. And then you should have 8 stitches that remain. Go ahead and do 1 single crochet in the remaining 8 stitches. And that will end row 6. We'll go ahead and start row 7 by chaining 1 and turning our work. And remember, every time we're on the front side, remember, if it's folding, it's okay. Every time we're on the front side of our work, it's always the same. We work 1 single crochet in every stitch across, and then 1 single crochet on top of the bobble. We can't forget that. So I'm going to go ahead and work 1 single crochet in every stitch until I make it to the end of the row. It's very important, though, to remember to get the stitch that's right next to the bobble. Sometimes it hides. We got to get him, or our stitch count, it won't equal 24 at the end of the row, and we need it to be 24 every row. All right, I'll meet back up with you at the end. All right, we're going to go ahead and start row 8 by chaining 1 and turning our work. And we're going to put a single crochet into the first 9 stitches. And then we're going to do a bobble into the next. 1 single crochet into the next 4, bobble into the next, you should have 9 stitches that remain. Go ahead and single crochet in the remaining 9 stitches. And that'll end row 8. So we're going to start row 9 by chaining 1 and turn. And remember, when we're on the front side of our work, it's just 1 single crochet into every stitch. Don't forget to put 1 single crochet on each of the bobbles. So I'm going to work across, and I'll meet back up with you at the end of the row. Alright, I made it to the end of row 9. Let's go ahead and start row 10. Chain 1 and turn our work. And we are going to start out by putting 1 single crochet into the first 10 stitches. There's 10. And now we are going to do a bobble into the next stitch. Single crochet into the next 2. Bobble into the next stitch. And you should have 10 stitches that remain. Go ahead and single crochet into the remaining 10 stitches. And there we go, that should end row 10. And now we're going to go ahead and start row 11 by chaining 1 and turning our work. And we're going to do 1 single crochet in every stitch across until we get to the end of our row. Alright, so I've made it to the end of row 11. So why don't we go ahead and start row 12. Chain 1 and turn our work. Now we're going to do a single crochet into the first 11 stitches. Okay, so there is 11. So this is the part where we do the ribbon cross, which is right here. So it's done just a little bit differently. What we're going to do is we're going to do we got our 11 single crochets there in a row. Now we're going to do a bobble into the next stitch. Go through all 5, pull it tight. Now instead of doing a single crochet into the next stitch, we're going to go into the next stitch and do another bobble. So just kind of pull that bobble tight and yarn over and go into the next stitch and do another bobble. Like that. Pull it tight, and now you should have 11 stitches that remain. And go ahead and put a single crochet in the remaining 11 stitches. And that is 11. So that will end row 12, and we're going to go ahead and start row 13 by chaining 1 and turning our work. So we got the bottom part of our ribbon done. We are halfway there. Well, almost half. All right, let's go ahead and do 1 single crochet in every stitch, since we are on the front side of our work here. Remember not to forget to put a single crochet, 1 in each of the top of those 2 bobbles there. All right, here, I'll go ahead and get to it here. Here's the bobbles. Put 1 on the top of each one. There's 1 there. And then this one here. And then go ahead and continue putting 1 single crochet in the remaining stitches until you get to the end of the row. All right, so let's go ahead and start row 14. We are going to chain 1 and turn our work. We're going to start working on the bow part of the ribbon. So we're going to go ahead and do a single crochet into the first 10 stitches. Then we're going to bobble into the next stitch. One single crochet into the next 2. Then we're going to bobble into the next. And we should have 10 stitches that remain. We'll go ahead and put 1 single crochet in the remaining 10 stitches. Now in row 14, we're going to start row 15 by chaining 1 and turning. Now we're going to do 1 single crochet in every stitch and on each of those bobbles until we make it to the end of our row. So remember, the front side is always the single crochet row. So I'll meet back up with you at the end of row 15. Alright, so we made it to the end of row 15. Let's go and start row 16 by chaining 1 and turning. Now we're going to start off by putting a single crochet into the first 9 stitches. There's 9. Let's bobble into the next. One single crochet into the next 4. Bobble into the next. You should have 9 stitches that remain, and go ahead and put a single crochet in the remaining 9. Like that. Let's go and start round 17 by chaining 1 and turning our work, and we will work 1 single crochet into every stitch across for row 17, working 1 single crochet on top of those bobbles as well. So I'm just going to continue this until I make it to the end of row 17. Alright, I've made it to the end of row 17. Let's start row 18. Chaining 1 and turn, and now we are going to do a single crochet into the first 8 stitches. And we're going to bobble into the next. Now we're going to put 1 single crochet into the next 6 stitches. Then we're going to bobble into the next. And you should have 8 stitches that remain, and go ahead and single crochet in the remaining 8. And there's 8, and that will end row 18. So let's go ahead and start row 19 by chaining 1 and turning our work. And we're on the front side, so we always do the same on the front side. 1 single crochet in every stitch across, including 1 on top of the bobbles. And I'll meet back up with you when we make it to the end of the row. All right, I've made it to the end of round 19. Let's go ahead and start round 20 by chaining 1 and turning our work. Now we're going to do a single crochet into the first 7 stitches. And we're going to bobble into the next. And we're going to do 1 single crochet into the next 8 stitches. Then we're going to bobble into the next. And we should have 7 stitches that remain. Go ahead and do a single crochet into the remaining 7. There's 7. And that will end round 20. Let's go ahead and start round 21 by chaining 1 and turning our work. And we're on the front side, so we're going to do the same thing we always do on the front, which is 1 single crochet in every stitch. This is round 21. And remember to put 1 on top of each bobble, always having 24 stitches at the end of every round. Remember, that's the magic number. So I'll meet back up with you when I get to the end of round 21. All right, made it to the end of round 21, and we're going to do round 22. We're going to chain 1 and turn our work. So this is going to be very similar to round 20. So we are just going to single crochet into the first 7 stitches. And we're going to bobble into the next. Single crochet into the next 8. There's 8, and bobble into the next. And you should have 7 stitches that remain. Go ahead and single crochet into the remaining 7 stitches. And there is 7. And that will end row 22. So we'll go ahead and start row 23 by chaining 1 and turning our work. Now if you look at those last two bobble rows, the bobbles will be on top of each other. They're not going outward anymore. So we're going to start to curve up. Alrighty. But row 23 here is the front side. So we're going to work 1 single crochet into every stitch until we get to the end of our row, including putting 1 on top of each bobble. So I'll meet back up with you at the end of the row. Alright, I've made it to the end of round 23. Let's go ahead and start round 24. I'm going to chain 1 and turn our work. Now we're going to put a single crochet into the first 8 stitches this time. Four, 5, 6, 7, 8, bobble into the next, one single crochet into the next 6 stitches, bobble into the next, should have 8 stitches that remain, single crochet in the remaining 8, that should end row 24. We're going to chain 1 and turn row 25. 1 single crochet in every stitch until we get to the end of our row, including the 1 single crochet on top of the bobble. Alright, so I've made it to the end of row 25. We're going to do row 26, which will be the final row of our ribbon here. So we're going to final bobble row. Chain 1 and turn, and we're going to start off by doing single crochet into the first 10 stitches. Okay, now we're going to bobble into the next. Single crochet into the next 2. Bobble into the next. You should have 10 stitches that remain. Single crochet into the remaining 10. like that. Ends row 26, so we are going to do our final row here, which is 27. We're going to chain 1 and turn our work, and we're going to go across the top, and we're going to be putting 1 single crochet into every stitch like we do. And one on each of the bobbles. I'll meet back up with you at the end of the row. Okay, so that's what it looks like. I'm going to do a finishing row. You don't have to do this if you don't want to, but I'm going to go around it with single crochet, kind of clean up these edges, and it makes it kind of easier to sew together. Again, you don't have to do that if you don't want to, but if you do, what I'm going to do is I just ended row 27 there. So what I'm going to do is chain 1, and I'm going to work it down the side here, evenly spacing out single crochets. If you look carefully, you'll be able to tell that there'll need to be 1 single crochet at the end of each of these rows of single crochet. So I kind of just do it there in the last stitch there, in between the last stitch and the space. Or just do your best to evenly space them out there at the end. You can see the last single crochet there. Go in between that. The second to the last and the last. That's kind of what I do at the end of each row when I'm doing edging single crochet rows. That way it's easier for me to kind of keep track. I'm going to work my way down the side here until I get to the corner. Now remember, you don't have to do this, but this makes it cleaner edge. But I guess that depends on how you're sewing it together. Okay, when you make it down here to the bottom here, this stitch right here, we're going to put 3 single crochets in it just to kind of round the corner better. And I'm going to hide that tail, our beginning tail, as I go. Now I'm working along the bottom of our square, which you'll be able to see the stitches pretty well. Just go ahead and put 1 single crochet in each of those stitches, and you can remember, hide that tail as you go so you don't have to sew it in later. So I'm going to work across here the bottom until I get to my next corner. So I'll meet back up with you at the next corner. Okay, when you make it to the next corner stitch here, go ahead and put 3 single crochets into that corner to round the edge a bit. And then we're going to be working up the sides again, just like we did here. Just kind of putting a single crochet there at the end of each of the single crochet rows. Or just do the best that you can to evenly space out your single crochets. So I'm going to continue up this side until I get to my next corner. Okay, I'm back at the top here, so I'm going to go ahead and put 3 single crochets into this top corner stitch, and then I'm going to work across the top, putting 1 single crochet in every stitch until I get back to where we started, going around the whole piece. So I'll meet back up with you right over here at this end. Alright, when you make it to the last stitch on this end, you want to put 3 single crochets into that to match the other corners. And then what we're going to do is slip stitch into the first single crochet over here. So not the chain 1, but let's go into this stitch right here. I think that's the chain 1. Doesn't have to be exact though. And slip stitch, and we'll go ahead and clip that yarn, and then we'll use a yarn needle to hide that tail neatly hide it. I like to go back through the same stitch. That makes it a little bit neater. There we go. I'm gonna flip it over. Go through once, back in the opposite direction, which will lock it in place. Any other tails hanging around? Okay, take our piece, get it straightened out there, and there we have it. Looks pretty good. I like it. So I hope that you enjoyed my tutorial. I hope that you were able to follow along. Now remember, if you make this, I'm going to measure and hope that it measures 7 inches. Oh, boom, boom. You know, you really can't get much closer than that. All right, let's try this side. Ooh, 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 7 1/4. Pretty dang close. Pretty dang close. It would have been 7 had I not put that border on it. But you know what? That border is pretty nice. So remember, hit that subscribe button. Hit the like button, leave me a comment below, let me know what you think. If you make this or anything out of, you know, whatever you use this for, I'd like to see a picture. Post a picture of my Bagoday Crochet Facebook page, link below in the description box. Hit that subscribe button and turn those notifications on so you don't miss out on any of my other tutorials or yarn content. See you next time. Bye guys.